Welcome everyone and welcome to the lecture 7 of complex analysis. Today I would like to discuss the residue of a complex function, calculation of residues and the residue theorem, and some problems regarding how to find the residue of a complex function. So let us first discuss the residues. So if a function f of z be single valued and analytic inside a region of curve C, then it can be easily expanded in Laurent series. That is, f of z is equal to integration n equals to minus infinity to plus infinity a n z minus a whole to the power n, and this can be further expand as a naught a1 z minus a plus a2 z minus a whole square plus dotted 2 plus a of minus 1 to j minus a plus a of minus 2 into z minus a whole square plus dot dot dot. So it can be easily expanded in Laurent series by this. Here in this case, a of n is 1 by 2 pi I close integration c f of z by z minus a whole to the power n plus 1 dz. So n equals to 0 comma plus minus 1 comma plus minus 2 and so on. And by putting n equals to minus 1 in this equation, we can easily find out a of minus 1, that is equals to into 2 pi I, that is equals to close integration c f of z dz. So this is called the residue of the function f of z at z equals to z naught, or in this case z naught is equals to a. Okay, so now I would like to discuss how to calculate the residue of a complex function. How to calculate the residue of a complex function whose poles may be 1, 2 or whatever the integer value, we have to find it out. So if a function is such that its poles lies at a to the power k, poles of order k, then how to find its residues at z equals to a? So a of minus 1 at z equals to a can we easily find out by limit z tends to a 1 by k minus 1 factorial d of k by dz k minus 1 into z minus a whole to the power k into f of z. Now putting the value of k is 1, that is considering the first previous case I have discussed. So putting the value of k, this gives 1 by 0 factorial, that is 1, and this is also 1, that is 0. So z minus a into f of z. So by putting k equals to 1, that is for simple pole. Then the residue would be like this: a of minus 1 equals to limit z tends to a, this is 1 and this is also 1, so z minus a into f of z. So this is the residue. Now if the further the pole is increased, then you have to use this formula to calculate the residue. In the next point, I would like to discuss the residue theorem. So in the next point, I would like to discuss the residue theorem. You can write down it. If a function f of z is analytic at all points on the boundary close by contour C except at some poles a, b, c, etc., then close integration C f of z dz is equals to 2 pi I into this, that is 2 pi I into sum of residues at the poles. So if we have some points, say A, B, C or so on, then we have to find the corresponding residues and multiply it by 2 pi I, then it will give the value of the integration enclosed by the curve C, where the function is f of z is analytic. This is called the residue theorem. Now considering an example, that is a function f of z is equals to z square plus minus 2z by z plus 1 whole square into z square plus 4 is given. We have to find the residue. So the first thing you need to find out the poles. How can we calculate the poles? Now we can calculate the poles by considering this part is equal to 0 and this part is equal to 0. So by putting this z plus 1 whole square equals to 0, we are getting z equals to minus 1 and it is double pole. At z equals to minus 1, the function has double pole, and z square plus 4 equals to 0, and so we get z equals to plus minus 2i. So z1 equals to plus 2i and z2 is equal to minus 2i. Both are simple pole, that is pole of order 1. Now by considering this, you have to find out the poles at z equals to minus 1. We have to calculate the residue for pole at z equals to minus 1 and for z equals to 2i and z equals to minus 2i. So by considering the formula we have written earlier, so residue at z equals to minus 1 will be like this. We have minus 1 at z equals to minus 1, this limit z tends to minus 1, z plus 1 to z square minus 2z by another term will be like this, 1 by 2 minus 1 factorial and d dz of z plus 1 whole square into z square minus 2z by z square plus 4 into z plus 1 whole square. So z plus 1 whole square is cancel out from this, and this gives limit z tends to minus 1 into, and you have to differentiate it. So z square plus 4 whole square, and it will be like this: z square plus 4 into 2z minus 2 minus z square minus 2z into 2z. Okay, now putting the limit z equals to minus 1, we can easily find it out. It gives minus 14 by 25. So residue at z equals to 1 is a double pole, so we have to use that formula. Now it will give minus, so we can write at z equals to minus 1, residue is equal to minus 14 by 25. Okay, now we have to find the residue at z equals to plus I plus 2I. Plus 2I. So it is a simple pole, so it can be easily find out by z tends to 2I, z minus 2I by z square minus 2z by z plus 1 whole square into z plus 2I into z minus 2I. Okay, now putting this value into the above equation, you can easily get minus 4 minus 4I in the upper part. This will cancel out. Sorry, not the plus 1, so minus 1. Z plus 2I is there. So putting this value, so 2I plus 1 whole square is there into 4I. So we are getting 7 plus I by 25. Now the residue at z equals to minus 2I can easily find out by its complex conjugate. So that would be 7 minus I by 25. So we are getting this, and at z equals to plus 2I we are getting 7 plus I by 25, and at z equals to minus 2I we are getting 7 minus I by 25. Okay, so these are the residue for this function. In the next class I would like to discuss the application of this residue calculation.